Hi, I'm Corey. Welcome to Creating with Scraps. I am going to show a pastry bag insert, and part of the reason I'm showing this is because pastry bags are everywhere and they're great and easy to use in junk journals, but also partly because I'm going to load my Etsy shop this morning with the scrap cluster and ephemera envelopes, and there are quite a few. One of the things that I made a lot of to include for the clusters is this pastry bag, and I wanted to explain how I choose to use it. Now, of course, you can use it any way you want to, but this is kind of the way I designed it. And I chose this because there are lots of options. Because I don't want somebody to get one of these and say, Corey, there's a hole in the back of my pastry bag. Well, it was intentional. So the pastry bags measure, I don't even know, they're about 6 inches, 5 inches wide and 6 inches long, something like that. And so they're really big by themselves as they are, or as they come for a junk journal insert. But what I do is I'll cut the bottom off. So this is the top opening, right? And then I just cut a thin strip off the bottom, fold it in half, and then put the scrap cluster on the top. And then you've got a pocket, and then when you open it up, you put this seam right here in your signature, and then you've got a space here. So you've got basically 4 spaces to work with, whether you want to journal on them or further decorate them or what have you. And they fit in most journals because this, let's see, this is 6 inches tall. So across it's 6 inches. And many of us have journals that are that tall. So it'll come something like this. And the beauty is you can do it a couple different ways, and I'll show you what I mean. So I'll have glued the cluster on the top, whatever the cluster is, glued it on the top of the bag. I move all this stuff so you can see what I'm doing. Glue the cluster on the top of the bag, like about that, okay? And then when you've got, where did I put it? Oh, it's right in front of my face. So you've got your signature, right? You can use this just to wrap around your signature, to sew it in just like that, right? And then you've got a pocket here. And when it opens up, you've got blank space that you can either journal or further decorate. And then when you flip your other side of your signature around, you've also got a pocket right here, and then 2 more sides to decorate. But pastry bag is thin. It's pretty sturdy, especially when it's coffee dyed, and these are all coffee dyed because the paper absorbs the coffee and it builds up some strength. But another way you can do it, and probably my favorite way, is open it to the center of your signature. And before you sew your signature in, you put the pastry bag right down the center. Okay, so this will be your middle piece. Then you sew your signature into your journal just like always, whether it's machine stitched or pamphlet stitched or however you want to do it. And then once it's all sewn into the signature, I will close this and I'll glue it down. I'll glue this section to this section. So you're not seeing the center signature anymore. You're not seeing the sewing piece of your signature. And you still have 2 pockets. You've got a good sized pocket here. And then on the back, because you're gluing just these 2 pieces together, right? Then you've got a good sized pocket back here, to do a little notepad or a note card or whatever you want in there. And you still can either journal on this or further decorate it. So that's what this is for. Okay, but maybe you're a person who likes really tiny journals and this is too big. Well, this piece is fairly large anyway. Another thing you can do with this, because they're a cluster and clusters are all about scraps, you can open it up and tear it, right? So you've added another layer to your cluster, and then ink around it or not, whatever you want to do. So you've got, it's still your cluster, but you've got just another layer, and you can tear it all the way down to the edge. You can leave it partially shown, whatever. You can just use this part and use the rest of the pastry bag. You can tear it up and use it in your own clusters or your own decorations or what have you. So it gives you 3 solid options, and that's one of the biggest reasons I chose to do it this way, because it's versatile and it lets you create the way you want to create based on what you're wanting to use and do. Okay, so those are the scrap cluster portion of the ephemera, but it's also ephemera. So most of the envelopes, and I'm loading 100 envelopes in the Etsy shop, most of the envelopes will contain one of these, but I've also got some of these for the smaller ephemera bits, or for the smaller clusters that I made. You can do the same thing, except just a tiny bit different. You can use this open flap of the coin envelope to sew it into your signature, right? And your cluster would be sideways then, but some people like that. But you can also just glue it down on 2 sides to make it a tuck. You can glue it on 3 sides to make it a pocket, and then you still have a pocket on the top. Or you can glue just the top and just the bottom and make it a belly band. Again, I was going with versatility, so no matter how you or what you make into junk journals, that you can still use them. So I didn't want to sell these and have people look at it and think, Corey, you're crazy, the bags are open. I did it intentionally so that you would have options. And I've got, like I said, 100 of those that are going into my Etsy shop, and it's first come, first served. And I've also got ink boxes. These have just recently been stained. I have 4 ink boxes of this size. And there's your space for your ink. There is a larger space for a Fabri-Tac. All of them have the same configuration. They have 2 smaller holes, 1 1/4 inch holes, and then 1 larger, 1 3/4 inch holes, because I found that most people use Fabri-Tac. So I put the Fabri-Tac in there. It fits a Yoo-Hoo stick, and it fits a Tim Holtz dauber. These will not fit the Ramblin' Crafter daubers. You can see it's just too big. I mean, you could sit it on top like that if you chose to. See how that fits? And that does work. Well, I guess you could. See, there you go. It does work. But they are all this, the 4 3-hole ones are all of this configuration. All right. Then I've got, I want to say 13 of the 4-hole. And it's the same idea, but now there's 4 holes. All of them have the large hole for the Fabri-Tac. And Sugar Bell bottles work there too. I just say Fabri-Tac because most of us use it. And then it's got the larger hole for the Ramblin' Crafter fits inside. And this hole is a little bit shallower because some people said it was too deep and they had to work too hard to get their dauber out. So it's a little bit shallower. And then room for Yoo-Hoo stick and then art glitter glue or the small bottles. You know, a lot of people use these small bottles and like that. So there you go. And again, where's the ink? They all fit the 3-inch ink. And there's, I think, 13 or 14. I don't remember now, but I'll load it in there. And there you go. All right. I hope that gave you an idea of another way to use pastry bags and explained it for those of you who are choosing to purchase the scrap cluster and ephemera envelopes. Thank you for the support. This week, again, my daughter's getting married Saturday. So all of these, anything that's ordered by Friday will be shipped by Friday. Anything ordered after that, it will be, well, Monday or Tuesday because the wedding's here, so we're not going far away. I wanted to say something else and I've forgotten it. Thank you all very, very much for your get well wishes and such. I am much better than my husband and sister, so I'm grateful for that. And thank you also for your kindness and support with Amy's wedding. We're all really excited about that. And then right after her wedding, I'm going to go to Boise to watch my granddaughter for a bit. And then I'll come back and we'll start the One Sheet Wonder pieces that I had shared a while ago. Some people said they wanted to see at least the dimensions for each of those. And so I'll start that when I return from Boise, beginning of August sometime, I think. All right. Take care. Thank you for watching and happy creating.